So, hey, and what's up, guys? This is your friend Code Cruz, and today we are going to be building the front end of the Next.js application, which I showed you in the previous video. So, let's get started. So, for setting up our Next.js application, we need to move to Next.js website, and here, this command, as you can see in page create next app, this will help us set up the basic folder structure and all that of Next.js, using which we can start building our Next.js application, right? So yeah, let me open my terminal and let me paste this command, and yeah, it will take some time. Let's wait. And it will ask for some details also, and we are going to see. Yeah. So as we can see, create next app. Okay, let's proceed. And what's your project named? So we can name our project as Todo Next.js. You can name it whatever you feel like, right? And then do you like to use TypeScript? No, I'm not going to use it. If you want to use it, you can feel free to go ahead. Would you like to use yes, okay? Tailwind, yeah. Would you like to use the source directory? No. Okay. Basically, it's basically the default what I'm just clicking enter, and it's basically taking as a default setting. Right. Would you like to use the app router? Yeah, definitely. Okay. And with that said, it's basically has started installing all the required dependencies and all the other stuff, which will be requiring to get started with our project. It will take some time, depending upon your internet connection. And yeah, let's wait. And also, guys, make sure that you have Node.js installed in your machine, or else this commands that is like npx, create next app, and all these commands won't actually work unless and until you have npm installed, or in short, like Node.js installed on your machine. So make sure you do that. Okay. So let's wait some time. Okay, it's done. And now, as we can see, we have our folder created, and let's move on to this. And yeah, so let's open this in my Visual Studio Code. You can use any code editor of your choice, but for the sake of this video, I'm using VS Code. And okay, so let us open our terminal, right? And just in order to get our application up and running, that is basically the boilerplate, we can basically type this command, that is npm run dev. It will start our development server of Next.js. Let's wait for some time. Okay, and yeah, it has started it on localhost 3000. And let's open it up really quick. Like, wait for this host 3000. Like, we're looking at it. I guess here. I guess it's ready. Let's wait for some time. Okay. So as we can see that our default Next.js template has successfully been loaded. Now what we need to do is, let's check our app router. That is, earlier in Next.js we had the pages router, and now it's the updated one, that is the app router. Here basically we have page.js where all this content and all this stuff is there. Okay, we'll definitely remove this all this stuff since we don't need it actually, right? So, okay, let's remove all of this. Like we don't actually need it, right? Okay, okay, let's remove this. Yeah. And now we can basically provide the, for example, the identity, right? Uh, we can add a H1 tag that says hello world, right? And now let us check it. Yeah, it works, right? So, okay. So basically, let's get started with it. We'll be like adding on the tailwind components, right? So we'll be requiring certain routes, right? So what are the routes we will be going to be using in this project is basically the login route, and then there would be a register page, that is the sign up page, right? And then there will be a page that would basically be displaying all our content when the user successfully logs in. He will be redirected to that page, right? That is basically where he will be finding all his to-dos, right? So, okay. So let's set up the routes. So in Next.js, for setting up the routes, we basically need to create a folder in the app, right? So, like, let's name it as login, login folder, right? That is going to be that is going to handle the login, that is getting the login page, right? And in order to make this login page load, like for example, if I now try to load the login, it won't work because it is not found because we didn't define it, right? So what we need to do is we need to basically create a page.js file. And also, guys, make sure that this is named page.js, or else it won't work, right? So I'm gonna use a React functional component, and that is going to be basically a login. And now let's check it out. Now it should definitely work, right? And there we can see that that's it. The login page has successfully loaded, right? So similarly, let us for the time being create a register page, right? Similar way, right? Directory named register, right? And there it is going to be uh, page dot things, right? And I'm going to create this component, and here there is going to be register, right? So now, if instead of login, we click on register, would be able to see this register, right? So with that said, we have like nearly set up all the routes we basically be requiring in this project. So let's move on to the login, and we'll be using basically default components, right? So that is being basically offered by Tailwind CSS, right? We can also use components from Dev UI. This is also a Tailwind component library, and it is also really great, right? Let's check out sign-in components, silent components, and all that. Right. So what kind of component you need? Okay, let's start with the register only. Like the UI would be like nearly similar. Like yeah, the UI is going to be similar except for one or two fields. So those are really going to be similar. So yeah, this kind of a component is something we are looking forward to because basically convert it in React, and we can see all of this. Yeah, we can pick this up right there, and so we can with it. Close. Let's move on to the register page, and here it is going to be like this. And also, guys, make sure we are providing this use client thing, since it's a client component, not the server component, right? In Next.js, there are server components as well, and this is going to be a client component, right? Since we'll be using React hooks in this component, so basically server components, we cannot actually use React hooks, right? So for that, we need to provide this thing at the top of your component, use client component, or whatever the component you are using. If it's a client component, you need to provide this, right? And we get an error, okay, purely because we haven't installed Lucid React, and we might be needing it for icons, so it's a good idea to use it. So let's check it out. Yeah, it's a library where you can find a lot of icons and stuff like this. Okay, so if we want to install it, we just need to make this like npm I lucid hyphen. And it will install in a couple of seconds. No worries. And okay, meanwhile, we should change this step. Sign up to page, and it should be a export to default function, right? And so don't think that right? I think our array is gone, or array is gone, right? Now we refresh this. Yeah, it's coming. And all these things we are not currently using. Like if you want to provide a sign up with Google kind of authentication options, you can, but in this will be basically be writing the code for authentication and basically authenticating with an email, password, and all this stuff. Okay, right. So let's modify this stuff. Like there is any other this, yeah, this, and I guess this is the button. Sign up for Google and yeah. So yeah, yeah. We from here, let us remove it and let's save it and I can let's do it on. And since we are the background is dark, so basically we have to change the color of the text that we are cross it down and okay. Let's move on to the labels where we can see this and yeah, where we do it, it's I guess it's going to be a right. Okay, there is a text three or something like that. It's provided. Okay. So let's basically to replace with a text three where it is and 600. So I guess there is check. There is another label I guess says there is text three 900. I guess yeah. So we should replace all of them with white, right? And I will replace it. And if we check it out, yeah, all of these are back on track, right? And create account, let's move on to it. And it is text right here, the text will be black, and there is a BG black that is going to be BG white. Yeah, we just revert that. Okay. And on over, honestly, I don't need it. One over, right? So I'm just going to put that on the whole it's fine. And the same we need to do for yeah, this like it's very clear text right and clear. There is text block, so text right. And is there anything more? I think I don't think so. Yeah. Is there a logo like this? There is a logo, I don't remember it. Okay. How I can add some logos, right? Like notes, do. Yes, this one looks good. Let's use it up. Copy basics and let's paste it here. Not with them, and we are going to basically be importing no, with them. Since it's already there, so from here we're importing arrows and with them. Let's check it out. Answer. Okay. To finish with the size. For example, I can provide a height to it, like that's what we are assessed to the word. So let's try 100. Let's see. Yeah. Do you think that I can keep it and more than I guess 100 degrees Celsius? That's nice. No, it's too big. Let's try. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so I'll give an account and there is something that is uh, going unnoticed. Yeah, so there should be something else. Okay, I'll give an account sign in. Right. So one of the things that we need to provide there is basically a full name, an email address, and the password. I don't think there's an issue with it. Like, mm, there could be a full name, like any name we can give. Like instead of the full name, we can provide username as well. Then there is going to be an email address, fair enough. And there is going to be a password. I think, yeah, that's pretty much good, I'd say. Uh, and now the same thing we need to recreate at the login page, right? So I think we can actually copy this and this, right? Just one field would be not there, I guess. We'll be removing the full name field. We don't actually provide any full name or something. Just the email address and password will do the job. So let's move on to the login page, right? We don't have anything there. We can still paste it. And yeah, now let us move on to the login page. So the register, let's move on to the login page. And here we have got the same thing. So instead of create account, can basically write something as login, okay. And instead of putting this full name, we are gonna remove it, okay. And that from you removal, we remove it, right? I think, yeah, that's pretty decent. And let's say I already have an account. You should change this to that. Very good, I think. Phone and accounts. Some to use this woman account. Yeah, just that's good. Right. And basically, we need to link this to right, like from register to login and login to register. Since we are in uh, login page, we need to link it to a register page, right? So, okay, that's cool. That's good. And we basically have a link here, like, and for that, what we're going to be using is import link from next slash link. And instead of using a tag, here we are going to be using the link tag. And what are we going to link it? Since this is the login condition, the reason we have to link it to the register. Where this, I guess, it works. Uh, let's provide the same for register as well. The link from next slash sorry. It's to be next slash link. And here instead of a, we are going to be a link, providing a link, and if web is going to be redirected to the login page. Now let's test it. So if we click on register, it goes to the register page, and if we click on sign in, it redirects us to login, right? So yeah, so it is working pretty well, right? So yeah, that's pretty much about the logging and the register phase. Now, what we are looking forward to is basically the homepage. Once the user logs in, what he or she is going to be um, facing, right? We basically would be needing a basic, uh, very basic nav bar, right? We can basically add a very basic nav bar from here. This component library will provide us a nav bar. Yeah, we can see the nav bar components. So it's a very basic one, honestly. So I think, I think, yeah, we can go with this one. Yeah. So let's copy this up. And we basically need a UI, right? That is basically the nav bar, right? So we'll be creating a folder, and this folder is not essentially going to be a route, okay? Since this folder will be using as a UI, like it will be used for the components. You can store all the components in this folder. That's why we are naming it UI. You can name it as components, anything, right? So here, what are you going to be creating? You are going to be creating a new folder. And what is going to be the name of the folder? No, sorry, not the folder, the file. So, navbar, right? Navbar dot js and rfc, and yeah, our navbar is ready. Let's move on to page.js. Okay, so here we are going to be putting the navbar, and yeah, it's done. And I think we're going to be seeing this. Yeah, okay, it's navbar. And now we basically need to update the code in the map in order to see all this. Yeah, right. So let's move on and let's basically copy. We I guess copied it. Okay, never mind. So and also we have to provide since it is yeah, it's providing the use client thing. There are menu items, contact and all this stuff. Well, I don't need all this menu items honestly because it's going to be very, very simple now. So yeah, let's remove all this unnecessary stuff. This menu, open menu, toggle. Oh my god, let's remove all this. And uh, we don't need all this. This is basically for the responsibility. We don't need it for anything. It is written in white. Let me name it as my to do. Alright. Yep, and this things we can need actually. Alright. Let's go. Yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, we need to also provide export default. For example, in our drawing, it's going to be a navbar. And if we save it, I think it will work. That works. So as you can see, it works. So it's basically BG white. We are going to provide a black background. Because it is entirely black, so that's why. Okay, so the button text here is specifically the color of the button, like BG white and the text black or BG black within anything on or okay, that's fine. That's cool. Okay. This is basically the navbar component. It's very, very simple. It's very, very basic, actually, right? So those the button sets, right? That button should be uh, add to do or create to do. Uh, to use a class, for example. Okay, this bus is not the line. Okay, let's skip it for this. Like for the time being, it's let it be active. We'll later on can add icons from here. Okay. So after this, what do we need? Right? Basically, a very basic greeting maybe, right? So yeah, very basic greeting like hello, anything like the name, right? So after the lab bar, there is going to be a very basic greeting and on the to-do cards or something like that, right? So when you click on add to-dos, what we need is basically it's to open a modal in which we basically would be providing a form in which we will be providing the title of the to-do, then the description, and basically the deadline, like by which we need to actually complete our to-do, or else it will be marked as like deadline missed or something like that. Okay. So we can go to Tailwind UI, and here we are having modals. So if we search here, dialogues, yeah, it's dialogue. This is the modal we can basically use. We just need to make a few tweaks into this and it will be up and running in no time. Okay, right? Okay. So we just create a component. So create table component and R3D. And here we are going to be providing the entire code for this. Obviously, it will be giving us some errors since we do not have headless UI, React, and all that stuff. But we will definitely be doing the same, I guess. Um, the hero icons there, so we don't need, since we are already using an icon library called Lucid, we don't need hero icons. So this part we can actually leave it. Okay. And what's next? Since we are using all these components, we can basically install the package that is npm uh, headless UI React. It will be installing the necessary dependencies that are supporting this package here. That is basically helping us in using the dialog box, right? And yeah, it's it's done. It's done. Okay, it's done really quick. And now what I need to do is basically set up, right? Like when we click on this app to do, a pop-up should appear here, right? So how do we do that? So what can we do is let's move on to nav bar and yeah, if we can use icons. We can now use the create to do rise and funnel. Okay, so it could be create to do. Okay, use to do and you just save it and it saves it. Yeah, it is coming, but it shouldn't come whenever the page loads, right? When you click on it, it should come. And when we just again um, click on cancel, it will turn off, right? So what we can do there, if we have noticed, there are one state. There is a state that is says open and set open. That is basically the overall state of the to-do. That is basically managing when the modal is to be open, and it's by default set to true. Hence, when our page loads, and this component also loads, right? As we have already seen. So I think we can use this state here in our nav bar. Uh, okay, I guess. we haven't taken, okay, it's never mind that. We are currently right? And initial value should be set to false. Since we don't want our no, sorry, the dialog box to open like by default or something like that. So I can send it this open and set open as a prop to it, right? Open, set open, set open as a prop. And let's click on click to do. And here we'll be having open, set open as a prop in faster. And here add to do whenever we do add to do, let's have a conflict handler here, right? That is going to be set to do, well, set open to true. Okay. So I think we are done. Like if I refresh the page, the to do is not the dialog box is not appearing, right? So when we click on it, the dialog box is appearing. Again, it's appearing. So yeah, that's how we actually need to do this. So we'll be modifying this mode on, right? So yeah, that's fine. And now, okay, this is I guess unnecessary part to always want to remove. Now let's move on to create video, right? And there is deactivate account, download title, and those, yeah, right? So we are gonna actually keep it very simple, right? Here will be an original tag that would say create video, right? If you open it up, and yeah, as expected, there should be steps. There's no other method. And we can basically use a bold, like use it as a bold, so it's a heading, right? And yeah, we have to do is then we'll find, and after that, what we need to do is basically provide a title, a description, and what more, the deadline, right? So let's move on to daily UIs. It also has input components, yeah, like this. Yeah, this one is good. Let's do it, and let's check out the code. What are the things we are having here? So let's take it up. And yeah, I'm going to be taking this off. Okay, there's some formatting issue. You can format document. Yeah, that looks good. Right. And we can basically check out, okay, the size is very small. Size 2.6. So we can provide a certain width like 72 or something like that. Till the total rise. I guess it's because of this. If we remove it, yeah, it's working fine. If we do it, boom, what happens? Let's check. Okay, it's into this like it will be more of full width. You can provide 96. Yeah, this one looks pretty decent. All right, and it works. So, and also we need some margin top here because, like, yeah, now it looks pretty decent. And instead of name, what we need is uh, title, 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 and for title, Text and all this. It's fine. And it's fine. It's right. Now, similarly, what more do we same to same? Let's copy this up and place it here. And there it is. And we need a description. And it's for description. I guess going to be description and the description. Okay. What more do we need to change? I think instead of using an input, we can use a text area. That is going to be better. And instead of using height of 10, okay, it was a height of 20. Um, or 3 maybe. Yes. Yeah, it looks decent. Like, since we need to provide a description, so this much text area is, yeah, decent. And then we need the name, definitely. Okay. Then, the name, the name, the it's there isn't a placeholder, right? And it's type of date and text area. It's going to be an input, I guess. And yeah, it is. I'll check on this fine. This is the change. Yeah, and we can basically set the date from here, right? And then cancel or deactivate whatever it is. Mm, there should be, if it's a cancel thing, it's fine. But instead of deactivate, we should have a delete, delete, right? And instead of like, yeah, it's on fix it open house all the time being let it be. But whenever we'll be integrating our APIs, we basically need to provide an on-click handler to it so that it uh, takes all the data, sends the data to the database. And then there's BGDIT. I think the green will be a better choice since we're creating something like, yeah, you can use your own functions. Yeah, that looks right. And yeah, this is basically the create to the form which we did. Let's close this. Cancel. Yeah. So now let's move on to the next part of it. That is basically going to be the to do or yeah, like something in the header, right? Or like the sorry. Maybe let's create a component called as body. But what is going to be the body? The body is going to be having the list of videos and stuff, right? Basically, will be displaying the videos and what more can we put into it? Search, if you search around the videos and you know, sample message we can also provide that basically says hello and the name of the uh, you know the and this can be named the user like for while providing photos hello photos and it is there somewhat. Okay, okay, sorry, you have rendered it the page and after the navbar there comes a body. Okay, and yeah, hello photos. It's coming and it's going to be last level. So next, and next to it is going to be a column and items center. Yeah, center. And also we can one bold and that's, I guess, Excel would be decent. Oh, never mind, to Excel. Like, we can provide some marginal top grades. It's gonna be very, very fun. And I will to do the and here we can basically provide our to do also a search bar really that is also one of the simple great, right? So yeah, never mind. Let's take it from yes, there you are. And let's take the switch and where we can use it as a search bar. Let's go on to the code. Okay, okay. And here we can basically provide server and let's check it out. Okay, so that takes three way. It's going to be a white. Yeah, let's just provide some margins right. And it's fine. Can instead of the models. So yeah, search reproduce and try to of text. Yeah, search reproduce. What more? And we basically now need some on that is basically the display the table. Right. Really, it's like something like that. After that, we can get to the cards. Okay. Right here, where we need let's first of all render. And also it's this line and some of the 2D tabs. Right. The line directly. Um, yeah, yeah. Inside of a div, we can provide uh, to do the parts. That's what they makes the text to be on the left. If it's for the time, then let's keep it like this. And then let's have the display. We will, I guess, this is the Cycles fire and of recording investment of parents today. Today, so there is the very delete. Okay, around it, that is a border radius as usually and down and this to for the barrier. It's this flex and here there should be a very important which will be picking up something the suit that is TV and if I find some this is the night time. We're copying the JSX and let's place it here and also let's import it here with crash to one using React and now there's that challenge memory here and we need it like that's so yeah so I do the string right and then what more do we need uh, yeah like below this then we want another detail or there's a video on the provide due date like for example when it's like what today's date that is 03/04/2024 right you should also okay noise version as well monitoring for right so and also like if I'm done with my to do so there should be like something like a button that can basically help me in marking our to do as done, right? So that there could be a button. So what are we gonna do next? Let's pick a button from there. Button and approve. We are gonna click this. Is there a white button? Okay. So what are we going to do is let's pick up this button. Let's place it up there. Yeah. And this is right. And then this the black and that's all the door. Nice. on return. And yes, that's pretty much done. Yeah. So basically, we also need to make it a name for uh, better look for example. So yeah. So with that said, we are nearly done with the basic UI we needed to get started with, right? Basically, this is our home page, and then there is our visitor page, right? Then there is our login page, and yeah, that's pretty much we needed to get started with it. Now we need to focus on building the APIs, basically connecting to MongoDB database to store the data and basically render all the to-dos for the user. Then also we'll be adding search functionality to basically search amongst the to-dos. And yeah, that's pretty much for this video. And we'll be back soon with the next video in which we'll be building the APIs using Next.js. And till then,